This is the last pink Daisy Rock Pixie Sparkle guitar I have left. I did a video on these. I think I showed you the silver one. And underneath this sparkle, it's actually spruce, and these actually play. And it actually has a rosewood board, nice inlays, and a really nicely made mahogany neck. The back is sort of this ovation style bowl, plastic bowl. But it sounds actually quite decent. They're really good made guitars. But what I want to do the video about today is somebody's interested in buying this guitar and wants to know if they can put nylon strings on it. Well, sure, you can put nylon strings on it. Be aware when you try to convert a acoustic guitar to a classical guitar, you're probably going to have to raise the saddle firstly to get the strings further off the board because they need more area to vibrate. And of course nylon strings are thicker, particularly as you get down towards the higher strings. Also, for a lot of people like me, the regular acoustic guitar spacing or nut width on an acoustic guitar, particularly a smaller scale child acoustic, which this is not really a junior guitar, but it's slightly smaller scale. I think it's 24.75 inches. You're going to be cramped. Nylon string guitars or classical guitars or Spanish guitars have a wider string spacing for a different style of play and for a different sound and for a completely different set of physics when it comes to the sounding of the string. You can put nylon strings on these, and they do make hybrid neck classicals, which are acoustic profiles with nylon strings. I struggle with them. I have a really nice Manuel Rodriguez that I did a video of a little while back with a hybrid neck. And I struggle, I trip over the strings because I'm used to the standard classical spacing. I think putting nylon strings on a guitar like this, it's going to feel really cramped, but it might work for a kid. You know, somebody with small fingers, you might get away with it. Another thing is you might have to regroove the nut, slightly widen the nut slots to accommodate particularly the lower strings, the higher strings. So the top E, for example, is a much wider radiused string, gauged string I should say, than a wire E. A metal wire E. So of course the nut slot might need to be widened a bit, not deepened too much, but widened. You may even have to cut a new nut for it, or regroove a new nut for it, and even a new saddle. So if you want to do that sort of thing, be aware that there's some work, or you're going to have a luthier do it for you. You can't just swap the strings out and get optimal performance. You're going to have to change some of the parameters about the guitar to accommodate that. Going the other way is a no-no. I just worked on, I don't have it, managed to rescue it and find a home for it, but I just worked on a classical guitar that somebody strung up with steel strings, and it pulled the top away, bulged the top, and also slightly damaged the neck because classical or nylon string guitars are not made to withstand the added pressure of steel strings. It's a much higher poundage or torque on a steel string guitar, and nylon string guitars are often built without truss rods and are just not made to withstand that kind of pressure. They're different instruments. And too many people think they're interchangeable. They really aren't. And to be able to convert them over, you know, you might be able to do it one way from acoustic to classical with issues, but converting from classical to acoustic can be very problematic. And I've seen so many guitars that are damaged, some quite heavily so, because somebody put steel strings on a classical guitar. And a lot of times they do that without any knowledge. They don't do anything to the nut, they don't do anything to the saddle, and so the guitar just sounds terrible, just doesn't play very well. I've seen bridges pulled off because somebody put steel strings on a nylon string guitar, and all kinds of other damaged situations. So I just wanted to perhaps do a video about that. Also, if you want to switch a guitar over to a lefty and you don't have a pick guard on it, it's possible to do, but again, you're going to have to put a new saddle on there to switch the strings around. You can't just swap the strings on the same saddle. It just won't work. Or you'll be very lucky if it works. You really need to cut a left-handed saddle or do some adjustments to the saddle to get it to work inverted. Same with the nut as well. You're going to have to recut, get a new nut blank and cut slots to deal with the strings going the other way. So all of these things are doable, and luthiers do them all day long. If you want to take it on yourself, be aware of the differences and the work involved, and whether or not, please determine whether or not your guitar can handle the change, if it's built to withstand the change. A lot of people ruin guitars by doing stuff like that without really looking into it or getting an expert opinion. So I just thought I'd do a video on that. You can possibly change acoustic to classical guitars with some work. You probably don't want to convert a classical to an acoustic guitar unless it's made to withstand the extra pressure. And if you want to make a right-handed or left-handed guitar, again, you're going to have to do some adjustments at both ends of the guitar. And you might even end up with a pickguard up here situation, which, you know, some people like that look. A lot of famous guitarists have played right-handed guitars the other way. So, yeah, some of these things can be done, some of them aren't advisable, but there's always work involved. You can't just simply switch strings and get away with it. All right, see you next time.